down. They're in the clear. They have the zone. They can get this revive off. So Silence is going to be able to come back in the game as he gets hit up on the reboot van.
Huge value. That being said, the inventory of Psy has 2 green tactical shotguns in there, some bandages, an AR, and that TAC SMG. Lucky landing, looking like it is calm at this point. A lot of builds, but no competition left down here as this trio is going to be able to pick back up, potentially finish looting up down here, farm any materials they can get out of it. They're in the safe zone. Circle still has 38 seconds before it closes, so they're not feeling too much pressure in any way right now. We'll have to see where the next circle goes. This is a good opportunity for them to build up a good buffer, materials, healing, any leftover loot that might be down here, and make their way onto the next safe zone without much issue. Meanwhile, Suber, Sammy, and Dream pushing from outside of the storm. Yep. The far east drop here in the desert.
Such a weird place to play as well. The moisty palms where you can't just crouch freely. You have to be very cautious. A lot of the competitive players opting to unbind the crouch just in case. You know, you don't want to make any mistakes there. And honestly, if you do that, you're kind of in the advantage, right? You set yourself up for success, so you don't make any mistakes in PvP. I know myself, I tend to crouch in fights all the time. You don't really realize it till it happens, but
it's a tough break when it does happen, I'll say. Looks like an attempted shockwave to avoid a fight there, but Saber does get the pick there. A knockdown is rotating into the storm. Trying to get to safe.
That's going to be a nice little knock there. He's going to replenish his health up. There is a player outside of the storm line. It's going to be his teammate, Will, who's waiting nearby, and you can see over at the other kind of crater there to the left where you can farm up all the stone. That's probably where the rest of that guy's duo is.
Most likely,
trio, I should say here. But someone does see the rotation. They're pushing on in. We have a trio coming in.
I say now's the time. You have people just coming in from the storm. You think you're in the better position. Pushing is basically a no-brainer. You see here, gonna have to fight to stay in.
You heard the shots outside the storm wave. You figured you might as well push out. These guys are going to come out with a little bit of health tick. Anything to have that advantage there.
Dropping back.
All right, Sammy, Will, and Suber here says, you know what, this is not the battle we want to take. The third party, oh, it actually isn't a third party. They're just pressuring with Splodes here, so they want to back up. They want to reset a little bit here.
I don't blame them. You basically started that fight not as a full trio. Sammy was still outside in the storm, and so rotating back away and saying, nah, this is not the fight to take. We're not exactly in the best spot. Plus, if you think about it, they did force that team, the team that applied pressure from inside the safe zone, to burn through some traps. There's some zap traps in the wall, so you've gotten rid of those, cleared those out of the inventory, which is great for later in the game. Ultimately, kind of a win-win. Set of eliminations here.
This is a nice little look right here. You can see those teams that are on the west and north side of the map forced to fight their way down now. Quite a rotation here as the zone seems to be pushing all the way south. So the later you move, the more congested this rotation will be, the harder it will be for you later in the games. You really want to get down there early, especially when a zone favors one side pretty heavily. You see competitive players try to rotate nice and early. I'm
looking for Nazir to hit a snipe shot here. He keeps pulling that heavy sniper out and taking a look. Hasn't gone for it yet. I would say position-wise, not the best call. You draw a lot of attention to yourself as you are further outside towards the edge of what is currently safe. So people are probably going to look back and try and stormhold you. But could you imagine Nazir hitting just a crazy snipe right there on the rotation in? They suddenly have advantage, a trio versus only 2 left up. They could push through, pick up 3 elims, all the materials, and make their way in the safe zone.
And this is actually very interesting right here. FHD actually opened this battle up with a heavy snipe. They catch the knock, but they don't even collapse to kind of seal the deal. They say, you know what, instead, we're going to focus more on the zone here. They're going to get ahead, so they use that little bit of distraction, downtime, and chaos to get ahead of the zone here. It's probably still going to convert if they can get to the zone first and then turn the battle back around.
Depends on how fast the storm is moving on this edge. They are closer to the short side, so it's moving slower. But yeah, you have a chance maybe for a pickup there. But I think, like you're saying, in that moment they say, yeah, we got the knock, we could push for it. But placement at this point probably more important. You're looking at 26 trios remaining. You don't get the placement points until top 15, and even then, it's only 3. So right now, pushing into the storm, getting to safe, very, very important. You want to try and make it to that top 15 as early as possible. You know, get to a safe spot so you can sit and wait.
You saw a little bit of a storm surge warning there as we're approaching zone 3. You have to be cautious 70 players to the Zone 3 ratio. Storm Surge will start to tick, so there's only one trio probably affected right now. This trio here is completely safe, 105 damage above. But anything can happen. They can get pushed by the wrong ones. The other team can jump into a fight. So
at this point, only one player needs to go down, too, and we might actually find it. There it is. What a snipe. FHD looking back to the east over there. Quick little flick, a 157 body shot. They're going to try and apply pressure. The teammate up top trying to secure, maybe get a chance for revive. Stinks.
They actually used a lot of resource just to try and keep that player safe right there. He chucked back the zap trap and the stink. So using all, if not most, of their throwables right there just to hold the power squad down here in the factory area. And this is the second time now they've caught a knock, and they haven't quite, sieged the moment. Very patient. Will it bite them in the butt later on, though?
Honestly, I think that's the smartest play, because you see right now, all three of those players up on the hill are stacked up next to each other, and they may have seen, because you had people that were rotating in, I believe that's southeast of the little factory area they're in right now. So they get the knock, yeah, but you're down below. Your only option basically is to try and take shots on the structure and get the knockdown player exposed and immediately eliminate. If you don't get that player's crawling back and using line of sight on the hill. Plus you have other people that they're going to see that and a chance for third party. I would rather see these players do exactly what they're doing right now and sit inside the build, do all the wall replaces, and wait just a minute, because what might happen, and you see on your minimap, that almost is the call there, that trio, the one that they got the knock on, there's a team further outside. They're going to get pressure from the back. They have a chance to sandwich. That might be eliminations that they can pick up later rather than applying pressure and maybe getting third party themselves.
I almost also want to say, though, that's the same team as done got sniped twice by FHD, so he's a magnet for the heavy sniper. Got to be careful, buddy.
Little rivalry
tuck
building up
the
there.
head down. You got to duck. Careful on the peaks here, but NM7. Teams are collapsing everywhere. Minute left.
Oh,
and he catches another one right in the tail. Aziz TV is going to go down, and this time they are not safe. He says it's time to battle. They want to push this through with less than a minute on the rotation here. In comes the stinkers. The heavy snipe cracks open the wall, and there is a team nearby. They can hear the shots. They're looking over if you look at your map, but they're going for safety instead. It's a long rotation.
Around. You see those two trios in the southeast side. They're rotating around trying to get in the safe zone. Meanwhile, these two teams that have literally fought each other time and time again now are finally applying pressure. NM7 with a build-up, trying to get the high ground. Not going to be able to do it just yet. Going to wait just a moment. Doesn't want to get pushed too far in on that trio without his teammates at his back. One elimination currently, but if the pressure is good and gets a better position, might be able to convert that into another three. We'll see here in a second. Shots from inside the safe zone. They're just at the edge. And there are so many teams so close together. 1, 2, 3, 4, I believe 5 trios within probably 50 meters of each other right there.
And Aziz and his trio is actually really lucky. Aziz was traded out, but that duo, what was left of the trio, managed to squeak away here. Heavy snipe returns. He hits another one. FHD is on fire right now with the shot. So you can see here, this team is scary with a double heavy sniper. They're loaded up right now. Here comes the focus fire.
A trio focus fire is big, but FHD pays the price. Another team up behind. This is what I was saying. 5 trios in one, like basically 150-meter circle is so tough, because as soon as you start spraying on one, everyone's going to look at you and say, you're exposed right now and you're not looking at me. It might be the time to take a shot. Imagine if instead of AR spray, that was a heavy snipe. That could have been an immediate knock, and then suddenly the tables are turned on this team for power.
That's right, but it's okay. Power has plenty of heals to spare here. You saw he did manage to pop 2 big pots right there, so the squad kind of hooking them up. They still have 6 chug splashes. They have, slurps for the road. They're very, very set up right now.
With how close together they are to other teams, I'm surprised they're not using... They have 11 chug splashes. Use even just one of those just to top off one player and get your last one to only 5 HP missing, because if you're in a bad spot and you start getting beamed, you're going to want every single HP that you can get. Oh, the double snipe, double heavy. Here we go. Looking for it. Finds the first one. Beams and not side goes down. Straight into the launch pad to rotate into the circle. This trio's playing very, very well.
Not size should have known better than to sit still in a 1-by-1. That is one of the risks you take, especially in trios. There's way too many eyes focused on the field here. There's no way you can sit still in a box. That's the price you pay right there. FHD, Yonks, and NM7 doing a fantastic job right now holding the server down. Really, they're dictating the pace right here with all pressure, all fire coming in. This is the most active trio we've seen so far in the server.
The east side of the map basically belongs to them thus far. There is that team. You saw them look up above on top of the hill looking down. Got to be very careful on the angles. Would not be surprised if there's a chance shots come down from the top. NM7 getting shot. Team from NES over there. Looking back, one tap just past them. You look very top middle of your screen. That's the team I was talking about. They're all the way up top. They have a zip. They have height advantage. The little window peak on the brick wall that's edited right there, just out of screen now. You also down in Happy Hamlet have Minzu, Moon, and Kinji. The ultimate high ground down here. Number of teams underneath.
This is actually a fantastic loadout as well. 6 shockwaves, 2 shield bubbles. They're set up so pretty up here. Nice little headshot right there from Kinji's gonna put some hurting on that team right there. They do have a heavy snipe to crack open the build as well. Stink, someone tries to take that high ground. He's gonna eat a couple of bullets for the sandwich right there as Sultan goes down by Kinji. Nice reaction speed right there. That shockwave play was not the one to do.
A valiant effort, but did land right in the middle of a trio, all kid of the teeth. Kinji has that shield bubble out. Looking to potentially make a rotation soon. We'll have to see here. I almost want to see one of these players toss it straight up, knock it down onto their own head, and make a move with it at the same time.
So he puts the bubble down so that their pad doesn't get taken out. So he says he's gonna set that up for the safety measure right there, and just like that, they are able to skate away and get to the next safe zone here. Nice long rotation, perfect launch pad. Not a single one of their teammate was affected or shot on that rotation right there. So that was a very clean pad away.
Power still solid right there. Toggle, Eska.
Another player from one tap's going to get taken out right there. Toggle's chucking in all of the grenades right here. Flexi goes down. Iki gets taken out right there. And he catches another knock. That's a triple knock with the grenades right here. He's just letting them go.
But grenades are pretty good. Especially when you have so many players stacked together. You have your teammates spray down the walls where you're tossing those things.
And just look at the map. They're all in the same spot. So naturally, you're going to hit someone.
We're about to get into placement points here. Just before we cut, we have 16. There you go, 16 trios remaining. As soon as we get to top 15, everybody picks up a set of points, 34 players total, which means a lot of these trios are no longer trios. You have quite a few single or duo players left at this point as the feed's still lighting up. Players are now forced to the northwest side.
Oh, I see. It looks like they're setting up a shockwave, right? Are they trying to set up the perfect shockwave kind of play here, angling the structures?
Craftsmanship is key, just as a reminder.
No, it's important to set it up properly so that everyone can get on out, but it looks like there's no time left.
No time.
They're just going to have to go ahead and throw it down. It's going to be a very scuffed shockwave here. But
honestly, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Sigil with a big move there, landed literally in a set of builds already, and there's edits set up. He now has a bubble shield to protect. He can look back and try and help his teammates if he needs to, or make a move here. He's going to try and build up to his duo.
And Eska does get taken out there, so Toggle is going to get in a little bit of a 1v1 right here. Someone of the box battle is trying to look for that replace wall. You have to wait for it. Nice shot. Noor's going to eat the big pump to the face right there. He's going to put him right down. There was nothing he can do. He kind of asked for it.
Literally just waiting. Just waiting for the edit. You know it's going to happen. Just wait for the edit. It's boxed in. Going to have to try and get ahead of this storm. Down to 13 HP. Traps down. He does have the splashes, but it is not enough. That trio goes down. Looks like in 13th place. 12 trios remaining as the rest of the field. Shockwaves, tarps, and launch pads towards the next safe zone.
And now we're looking at the end game, zone 7 here. You have your teams already situated up in the high ground. Shockwaves are already flying all around you here. Power, NM7, we're jumping back in. We saw land some ridiculous snipes earlier today. He does still have that heavy sniper. Someone is going to sneak up behind him, but they have a nice little pinch right there. Great white shot right there. Doc Lupa, he catches Anatomy with a quick cleanup and quick reaction speed right there. It's actually 2 that fall down to them. And they're still a full trio.
Big hit. Quick little splash. Put another 20 across the board. All 3 teammates sharing that heal.
Great
Excellent
job.
call. These
Great
rotations
job.
in, trying to get these quick edits and try and tarp while your teammates are still with you.
He's out of mats.
And healing, that's big. Yeah, no mats left. NM7 is empty now. They're going to have to trade off who's doing what on the team. Still making moves, though. Bubble shield there. Plus, the zone is right at their back. Player dropping in, same floor behind, rotating out in the storm, trying to stay safe, but can't quite find it. Back into the safe zone here as NM7's looking back. This is a great opportunity. If he had held that for maybe 2 or 3 more seconds, he might have had another shot on the player that did get the knockdown underneath. Big movement into the safe zone is key here, but he's only sitting on 3 builds. Got 3 metal builds remaining, 9 points, and there's six trios left to trap behind, just in case somebody tries to drop down in, but does get broken. Player underneath. It is basically chaos at this point.
And then Sayer is the absolute slayer so far. Oh, but he is going to get chipped down right there as Minzu takes him out. We've been following Minzu, Yonks, and FHD for all these players for so long now. This is looking like the toe-to-toe right here. Minzu on YouTube. Boxfighter, Moon, and Kinji all have the high ground right here. They have stinkers. They have explodes. They're set up for success right now. Here comes a quick edit. Minzu's trying to get this peek right here. Is he going to be able to connect? No, the shockwave pushes him out. In comes the firing. He doesn't have time to push all the way through. It's going down. Somehow, they close out by staying alive just long enough. The shots, the trades, FHD and Yonks were holding it down, actually trading the shots. The shockwave was perfect.
Minzu's trio went from the only full team left to both players knocked and Minzu in the storm because of a single shockwave so fast. I think nobody on that team saw that coming. Absolutely ridiculous. Last couple seconds there. Now, just to take a look back and really give us some details. We got Shy Wager out in the studio. What do you got, Shy?
Heck yeah, these guys had the power, they brought the force and cleaned out the game even at the worst circumstance possible. Even throughout the game, we saw double heavy snipes. We saw so many cool utilizing mechanics being used across internationally, which is huge because, you know, Lupo and Monster had a conversation. Are these guys caught up? Do they have enough time? Is everything, you know, in place for this region to be at the top spot next to EU, NA, right? We have this breakdown of a little bit of separation in the middle. We have NA West, EU, Brazil, as well as NA East, and they're all in that big top 8 region. But we have these top 4s. The first time seeing ME on the board, these games actually broadcasted as well. We can see people now becoming stars, right? We could have the next insane, calmer, clutch individual mongrel, but, you know, international, across the season, a different time zone, playing his own type of metagame, his own type of strats being dropped down from height, going upwards, downwards, everywhere around the entire server. So it's really cool seeing how a new region develops and exactly where they actually place themselves in the timeline of exactly how their skills are, how their build fighting metagame is, what they try to do on height afterwards. A pattern we saw in the first EU games where, hey, if MMB have height, everyone below them, no shields at all. Every tag, it's a headshot from a Scar. It's an easy 72 white damage tag that usually gets them that elim at the end. Middle East, same way. We're going to break it down in just a second, but there's an entire type of shifted metagame where it's kind of those early Season 3, Season 4 tendencies combined with the knowledge you have at the end types of, you know, Season 8, Season 9 end games where, you know, you're rotating, you're tarping, you're saving your items. At the same time, early game, you're using them immediately. No thought whatsoever. You have everything on your board. You have your inventory. You know exactly what your teammates have. The comms are nice. Everything's on the plate, ready to go, ready to get feasted on. So Middle East right now for me is just is really nice. We're going to be going into a clip actually of an early game, I believe, Happy Hamlet game. We're going to dive in with Kinzel, I believe. We'll see how he plays out. Actually, no, this is a power clip. There we go. Kinji up in Happy Hamlet. It's going to be really dope to see him actually cut out for his team on height. We talk about the metagame, right? When Shockwaves first got introduced, it was a straight pump or combat shot upwards. It took people time to get used to that AR spray. He has it in his inventory already. These guys are caught up. They know. Ramp edits, practicing creative, right? Very ingenuitive. A lot of ingenuity there, as well as wall replacing for protection. It's not raw gameplay. It's actually curated practice, and they're brand new to the actual international scene, which is amazing. You know, baiting your teammates out for HP, going for finishes. Even support players like Moon know exactly what to do. Now, the star trio that won that previous game, Power FHD, knowing how to use and take angles properly. Has traps in front of him, doesn't matter. Knows to stay for those right-hand peeks, knows when to engage. Low HP, still does not matter. No pressure taken because these guys have practiced. This is not their first rundown, but it is their first showdown of exactly exactly what they can do, right? No Max here has the elims, low health, still knows exactly when to look up, what to loot, when to use your utility, and when to support your teammate and still have a presence in the game, which is once again something players learned a lot later. So these guys are caught up with the meta game. They do know how to finish off. They know their exact win conditions as well and when to drop them through. Amazing gameplay. We're gonna now tune in and see what else they can do on the Middle East. I'm gonna be piking it up with my man Zeke coming in. We're both gonna hit that cast. We're gonna see exactly how these guys go down. We'll relive that breakdown actually together live. Zeke, what did you think about their presence compared to the rest of the international regions?
Man, I think we still have quite a bit more to see from this region. I think you did an amazing breakdown there. I think the ceiling for ME is still very high. We haven't quite seen what they're fully capable of, but I think over the weekend, we'll definitely see it. I'm also excited that we get to finally hang out, Shy Wager and Zeke. Chic. We have come together. That was great. Actually, that is a true thing of the game. But anyway, the games are ready. Let's hop right in, Fortnite fam. We're jumping out the battle bus. We're going to begin this game. I can't wait to see what happens here in this game. Because remember, these happened over this morning. Earlier on, while everyone wants to sleep, including myself, I slept like a baby. It's kind of. That's not entirely true. But anyway, we're getting into it. We can see now where people are trying to land early. So, I mean, you know, you've got the Pleasant there. You've got a team of Junk. The old Villain Factory. You've got some at Snobby. Some flying even over Greasy. There's still quite a bit of teams, though, still that are airborne.
Yeah, so one thing you mentioned earlier, Zeke, was the whole idea of these games happened this morning, right? For me, chewing gum, you leave it on the table untouched, still good to eat later in the day. There's so much flavor in these games we're having yet to see. No, seriously, man. Like, once again, we're tuning with power. Hey, look at this pattern, right? I kind of, you know, went to the FHD/Mongrel comparison. These guys are in retail. Mongrel's in retail. You know, we had Monster, Lupo, saying these guys have been waiting for a long time, right? There's so many VODs they've been watching. They have the knowledge, man. They have the power.
Yeah, and now look, they land over here on the, what do we like to call this? The top side is blacktop. So
residential.
This is residential.
Yeah,
there we
yeah.
go. I literally came up with it as you were saying. What's wrong with me today? But they are on the residential side, which is good. I personally, and this just might be like my thinking, but I feel like the loot's a little better on residential side than blacktops. Would you agree? Or do you think it's the other way around?
I think that there's more, there's sparser loot on the blacktop side. We're looking at Tilted right now, but I'm gonna keep talking about what we saw in retail. There is sparser loot on the blacktop side, but like residential does have, I think, more drop spots on the floor loot. But you know, we got those bendings on blacktops, and you have more of a horizontal advantage on everyone you see.
Yeah.
So it's a lot easier to kind of, you know, pick a game plan on blacktops. With residential, you kind of have to all in all the time.
Yeah.
Because if you do get engaged on, like once again, you're all in, right? We see it in OCE, X2 Twins. They always end up having a fight, some type of highlight. It's really cool. Right now, though, you know, Lupa and Monster went over Tilted Town, the advantages, disadvantages of building and not building. What are your, how do you think player opinion has been of Tilted Town from the beginning to the end of how people treat the job?
I think originally people were maybe a little taken off guard by the fact that you could not build until the town. It was like, wait, but the whole thing is that you have to build and whatnot. And it's like, well, yeah, that's still a very big aspect of the game. But now there is a POI dedicated to you testing your shooting skills, right? How good are your angles and your peaks? How good are your rifling skills or even your close quarter combat skills? And that's what Tilted offers in its current state. But we're back on board with the Power Trio, the Trio of Power. They have themselves a brute. They are looking to take it to this other brute across the way, Shy. Now, what's crazy here is, remember, they have these laser designators. So the other brute's fully aware. They're like, hey, there's another one. They're moving toward us. We need to try and take this down. But Power's on 18 effective HP. And it's just not enough. It's so easy to be focused down in the brute right now. So unfortunately, FHE is going to go down. And I don't think there's anything else the other duo can do about this, right? They just kind of have to let him go down and regroup and assess the situation. NM7 does have the sniper, so if he can get a cheeky shot off, he can down someone immediately. But like, look, the other brute spawned like, no, friend, we're gonna hunt you down. Don't worry, don't get too far.
No, absolutely. Like, brute combat is one thing that also has its own metagame, and like these guys know too, right? Focus the driver 100%. Usually the people you put into the brute early game are those who don't have the same amount of loot. We're looking at a pump TAC SMG gold sniper on NM7. But FHD, all you have are zapper traps, a bunch of gray items, very easily focusable. And right now, you know, their enemy team is big and hard focused. I'm pretty sure it's the ASMR guys, Spy and Wagner. These guys are just coming in with a big brute of their own, forcing through straight up beginning. finding all the loot as well. One big thing about having a brute in retail, it's like butter on toast. Perfect combination, even jam on toast, anything but mayo. You get these loot spawners so much faster with the stomp mechanic as well as the rockets. Granted that they were nerfed at one point, you still have so much damage to instantly just get these launches over and over again. The biggest downside to retail being you spend so much time in there, right? You negate that, you have the perfect setup entirely in the whole game.
Yeah, and then you can kind of take that brute into later game and use that to kind of mess with other trios out there. I like this too. The ASMR trio, ASMR, they're quiet. They are in the brute right now. They are destroying day spawner. Shy, what is the loot pool looking like if you sat there and retail and destroyed all of the loot spawners?
I personally think that a lot of launch pads, a lot of campfires, and a lot of ARs everywhere for you, including bombs.
I like that very much. But now we are across the way because look at this, Minzu and Kinji. This trio, we saw an absurd amount of snipes last game. Now, many of them they couldn't follow up on just based on where they were, but look at this. He drops down and he gets counter dropped. That is a zapper. He's got to be careful. It's okay. All right, I thought that wasn't Moon. I saw a second shot from the right, and I was like, if that is this enemy trio, like, Minzu's going to be eliminated. There's nothing they can do, but it's okay. Moon was there. He had the assist, and look at the loadout. It's just shining array of colors.
Yeah, Happy Hamlet, I broke it down in one of the job shop breakdowns. Vendings galore, so many chests, right? You eliminate as much of the loot pool as possible to what you need to keep looting over and over again. You know, loot drops, chest spawns, every vending that's available to you as well. You get to pick and choose what you want. You use it in the fight as well really fast if there's just one other team contesting you. Looks like these guys are the kings of Happy all the way in the Middle East, which is huge. We have now two big things as well that a lot of people don't realize in the game is when you have kings of a drop spot clash against each other, you don't really see where people come from, right, in the end game when they're on height. But now that we know that we have the ASMR boys having all of retail, we have this rainbow loadout on every single person from Happy, we can now see the storyline build up all the way to the end game of these two star trios at the moment in this game.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are looking very, very good, but look who else is here. We've got two trios just in front. There is one player from a trio left in Old Yonder. And there's a trio making their way over a hill by that long ravine there. Okay, so it's Sazerin there, who's by himself. I'm not sure what he's still doing there. It looks like he might just be crouched, just potentially trying to loot there. You got Simar, JD, and Cake Park, Dash? Cake Pack, Dash. I like that. I like that. I do enjoy some cake as well. But now they just get to kind of walk into Old Yonder. I mean, there's obviously going to be no loot. They could farm up for materials if they wanted. All right, I take that back. There was one piece of loot, which was just the ammo box. My apologies. Didn't see it. But now they're right here on the edge of Storm, right?
I'm sorry you had to wait so long.
Coming out of Snowside towards the bones over here, towards the big monster skull. But at the same time, there is, you know, those mid-game fights that do break down at times. Right now, we don't see any. We can drop into just seeing the options that Toggle has now to move towards, I guess it's the desert biome, towards the bottom.
Yeah, I mean, there's still so many players left. 75 and 26 of 31 trios left. Don't forget, we want to start seeing any placement points at all, and we're right now in Storm Circle 2. So there's still so many players that have to be eliminated before this end game, right? I mean, I don't imagine we'll see like Storm Circle 750 people left, but I wouldn't be surprised if we did see that. There's still so much that can happen in this game. I'm curious to see what's happening back at retail. You know, we saw that trio, the ASMR trio. They're pretty looted, and I'd assume with that brood, like they probably cleared retail like super, super fast. I want to know where they went from there, because right now even like Seagull, Tago, and Eska, they have no eliminations. Their loadouts, It's not shambles, but it's like borderline shambles, I would say.
It's 100% shambles if it's a big zone, but you touched on it a little bit, right? Eliminations. When do you actually really want them? What is your win condition? So what would you say if you had shield bubbles and shockwaves, the different options people have towards the middle or end game that they can use to actually, you know, come through for elims or play for placement?
That's a good question. That's tough. I think it depends on, because like everyone knows what heat they're in, so you know who, if you're paying attention and you're doing your homework like you should be, you know the other people in your heats. You know potentially where they're going to look to land. So like if I'm this trio, I'm not going anywhere near retail, right? Because we already know ASMR trio is there, and we even saw the power trio as well. So I mean, right now they're near Salty, which it doesn't look like, looking at the minimap, no one's there. Everyone's already rotated out, right? They're trying to get themselves into safe zone. Looking at, actually, on the top left, you could kind of see, so right now, look, they're just on the outside making their way in. So we're back on power, and looks like it's just Yonks by himself. This is a brutal spot to be in. He definitely does not have their cards.
Oh,
They're not
Jesus
getting
Christ.
rebooted. There's no way. So right now, Yonks just has to do anything he can. I mean, I'd imagine he's probably wanting to play slow, right? He's like, look, if I can even just play for placement and get us those points, if he can find an awesome pick, great, but that's just like backseat. Right now, it's survival mode.
Yeah, the worst sound anyone could have heard from him on the server for his situation is that shield break sound, the whole you know, desynchronization of the shield. So right now, he's worried. He knows trios around him know that he's worried. His entire plan at the moment is to use, you see, half his loadout's already gone, right? We talked about when to use your loadout, when is your win condition, do you want elims? You said it, Zeke, it's full survivability at the moment, and Yonks has to go to the Bronx and even further now to even win the game, right? Like, 0 elims, the easiest thing to do, right? Getting 3 points through eliminations is 3 separate fights. A lot of mats used there, right? A lot of gun skill required, a lot of brains required in the fight against 3 other people. But if you separate it into entities on the map, right, you only have a maximum of 31 trios on the map, 31, 33. So in this game specifically, I think we're at 26 out of 31. We're kind of far from placement, but separating it into just looking at singular entities moving around the map and playing placement that way, right? Using your mats against one entity rather than 3 separate ones in a fight. You can then kind of, you know, segment out your loot, your minis, your mobility, and actually get further and get 3 points without getting insane frags in an actual fight.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I hadn't considered that. That's pretty dope, but I mean, it's tough, right? Like, I want to be hopeful for Youngs in this game. And what's different is, like, during qualifiers, you know, you had kind of 10 games and you had 3-hour window. So, like, if you were in this situation, you could say, look, I'm just going to run into a team and hope for the best. And even if I was eliminated, it's fine. We're just going to hop back into another game. But these are heats, right? So, like, right now, everything is on the shoulder of Youngs, right? Because we're going a full game at a time. So Youngs just can't say, all right, let's just let this game be our wash. Like, no, he actually has to sit here and try. And, I mean, if I'm FHD, if I'm NM7, I'm sitting there, like, looking out for him, like, right, you've got a team here, you've got a team there. Like, just try and keep yourself positive. Because, like, for me personally, if I was in this situation, it would be so stressful.
Yeah.
But these are the very best of the best. They're here for a reason. As I say that, Caster Curse in full effect. I finished my sentence and Youngs gets picked up. It's okay. All they have to do is go back in, let that game wash over, and prepare themselves for this next game. Well, for them, these games already wrapped up overnight, so hopefully for the next game, he steeled himself, you know, at least hopefully.
Yeah, you touched on it a little bit. This is really, it's going to be a weird analogy, so I segue, but bear with me here, right? You said the game was on Yonks' shoulders, right? In cartoons, you usually have like an angel or a devil on your shoulders, right?
Okay.
To break it down for people trying to clutch up in that situation, replace the angel and devil with your win conditions, right? Am I looking for free elims rotating? Am I looking to play safe? And every time you see one of your shoulders kind of ding, that's what you have to play for. You have to suppress all the other easy stuff you see. Maybe there's a free heavy snipe you can take, right? At the same time, that exposes you, right? Your whole full shoulder is not lit up there. You got to play at the side of the angel. So if you're trying to learn how to get in the clutch situations, trying to learn exactly how to rotate in the game, what is right, what is wrong, segment it out, wait for the proper shoulder to light up, and that's an easy way, right? Right there, Yonks, the mistake he made, he kind of chose the devil shoulder. He saw free tags for rotation. He knows he needs elims because he has 0, but in doing that, he brought the full force of an entire trio out, right? He talked about entities. He turned a full 1 entity he could just block with mats to 3 people to face 3 separate AR shots. He got erased from the server.
Man, that's so dope.
Yeah.
See, Shy Wager dropping these knowledge bombs and making my inner child who loves Looney Tunes just so happy right now. I appreciate that, Shy. That was very nice. It's very well explained.
Thank you, man. Thank you, thank you. Now we're looking at an entire different scenario. M-Sadiq, I've actually seen this guy have some amazing highlights in game and actually clutch it out in the Middle East server, sometimes topping the charts of our top plays of the week. Currently, he's going to be leading an actual trio. We're actually on Rampage's perspective right now, but these guys are absolutely raw when it comes to just taking those free aim duels, just engaging on fights and following up with stuff. Right now, I've never seen
the
more
damage,
stink tags
though. The
from one
damage.
stink on an entire trio.
Okay,
Axia goes down. We saw Axia last game as well as rotating earlier. Now, they're very set on loot, but once again, they know that win condition, right?
Yep.
Even if you're not solo, as a trio, what shoulder is dinging? I got a knock, okay, stink follows up, right? That's how you have that whole momentum process, you have it planned out. You just gotta look for the right pings to follow through.
And if they had some kind of mobility, I would imagine they probably would have gone in and cleaned up this
Oh my
trio.
god.
Because
Alright, your boy's just
they
gonna
got
play the
so
game
many
at this
tags,
point. Alright guys, but before we do play the game, we gotta click on the news. Look at that! Look at that! Look at that! Look at that! It's confirmed! The Batman! Ah! It's confirmed! Ah! It's confirmed! Ah! Alright, let's see. Ooh, bounty squads now. 50v50. Oh my god. Alright, whatever. Ooh, oofity oof oof. Your boy might just make a new stream. Jesus, alright. Alright, guys. Let's get this bread. Alright, bet. We'll land at Salty. Alright, bet. Alright, let's get this bread. PC server bread. Let's get this bread. Just let your boy do something real quick. Alright, nice. Oh, please. Chair. Oh my god! Oh, god dang it. Alright. Well, your boy ran out of time to do all that stuff. Jesus Christ, so many kids. Oh my god! Wait, no, let me jump! Where the heck is Salty? Oh my, it's on the enemy side? Really? Alright, I think it's a junk as well. It's 50-50 though. If I die in the storm, GG's. He knows this is not Team Rumble, right? Oh my god. Oh my god. Yo, I'm toxic, alright? I'm toxic. Alright, that's all I gotta say. The sensitivity on the mouse, bro. Oh my god. Alright, your boy still needs to learn how to build, but please pick up, alright? I think the back mouse button's inventory, so... Alright, that's nice. I think my D is auto run. So wait, what? What? Why are you wanting to die? Oh my god, you know we don't respawn, right? Oh, he's trying to get the challenge too, I bet. Alright, never mind then. Let's just leave him to die. Alright, big boy tactics. Is that an AR? Yes, it is. Alright. We're just blonde boys doing what blonde boys do. chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool. What? Bro! The fuck, bro? Oh, bro! Bro! Goddamn Q, bro. Oh my god, bro. Q. Yo, they added a zip line, or is it not? You thought, kid. You're freaking on my team. Stop trying to shoot me. Alright, stop trying to shoot me before I pull out this goddamn controller. Oh, frick, I forgot. That's not even... Alright. What does shift do? Shift does nothing. But I know what Alright, so settings, right? And then Q, and then shift. Alright, that's probably better. Because if I'm walking forward, I have my... Alright, that's nice. That's definitely better. Alright, because if I press left shift and then... Oh my god, that's godlike. Alright, nice. Alright, so there's a lot of kids here, so... I'm gonna just say GG's at this point, because... Okay, let's just say there's a lot of kids, man. And I can't move forward, so GG's. Alright, there you go, now I'm able to. Is that ours? I don't even know. Oh, okay. Okay. I'll get nothing. Alright, RPG, finally, goddamn, AR. Alright, that's nice. Alright, let's stop it. And then, alright, I'm so confused, bro. Oh my! Alright, nice. Alright. Yeah, single match. Jesus. What kind of stress? I actually have none. Alright, that's kind of... Oh my god, it's getting laggy. Oh no. Hey, what? Where'd the kid go? What? Oh! Alright. Here. That's nice. I mean, not really, but yeah, alright. It's a joke. Alright, yeah, we're going in the auto run, boys. Alright, we can edit all this stuff. Alright, so that's nice. Alright. Why would he just waste his ammo like that? Anyway. Whoa! Alright, so where are the kids? 'Cause we need to know. Can I still walk forward, please? 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 Mouse sensitivity? Like, stop. Oh. Alright, survive storm phases. Alright, that's nice. Alright. Yo, what? Yo, what is happening? Oh, those are RPGs. Jesus Christ. Wait, what? No! But, alright, let's gonna open this first. We're gonna see if it has a scar. Oh, okay, that's kind of tough. Wait, actually, nope. Come on, don't get sniped. Alright, guys, let's see. Really? A tactical? I already have that. Alright. And I can't hold heals. Yeah, I'm gonna hold on to this. Alright. Christ. Oh, we forgot he was on auto run. Alright. Yo, where the kids? Like. Oh, there's one left. That's kinda tough. Oh, okay, that's not. I guess we can promote. Goodbye, match. Alright, well, that was a game. Oh, frick. Alright, guess we're switching back to controllers. Let's see if any got any. Nope, alright. Alright, your boy's just gonna end the stream, like, honestly. Alright, guys, so